What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so shout out to Dreamers Pro, all right, because he requested, I was in his chat earlier, and he was doing a video about Rich Paul, talking about how this year LeBron's going to play the entire season with the Lakers, and how he felt like the Lakers team wasn't a championship team or whatever, right? But anyway, when I was in the chat, Dreams Pro told me about something that Paul Pierce said. Now, Paul Pierce said, I guess it was a couple of days ago, was it last week? Might have been last week. He brought up, I forgot who the hell the player was already, but he said that Michael Jordan had a limited bag compared to some of the players of today. Oh, Shea. He said Michael Jordan had a limited bag compared to a guy like Shea. Now he's saying that Michael Jordan had a limited bag compared to Vince Carter, right? So here's from when we do a video, give my thoughts on this situation, right? So this is my thing about this whole bag situation, man. I'm just going to be blunt and honest about how I feel, man. I think black people, we're too concerned about how somebody looks while playing basketball than results. A motherfucker can cross someone up, have them fall or break their ankles or saute their ankles, as we put it. And that'll be impressive to some people, even if the dude missed a shot. As opposed to a guy who, unspectacularly scores off of a pick and makes a 17-foot jump shot. And he does that throughout his career. That's why a lot of brothers don't bring up a guy like Alex English. Alex English was not spectacular. Alex English did not have the deepest bag in the world, right? Alex English didn't have the three ball. He wasn't the greatest ball handler. But somehow, Alex English was the leading scorer in the NBA throughout the 1980s, right? Michael Jordan, who now all of a sudden everybody wants to make it seem like this guy has no bag, which is ridiculous. Michael Jordan had no handles, even though he barely turned the ball over, especially during the 90s. I watched Michael Jordan knock down threes. His 32.7% three-point percentage is very misleading. I keep trying to tell people that. When he shot them in abundance in the 90s, he became a good three-point shooter. But if you weren't watching basketball in the 90s and you're just looking at stats, then you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? I watched Michael Jordan use a crossover. Okay? He didn't use it often, but he had a crossover. Was it the greatest crossover ever? No, but he had a crossover. It was fluid, and you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the fastest crossover, like you know what I'm saying, like Allen Iverson or Tim Hardaway's, but it was good. And I saw him cross many people up. Michael Jordan could dribble behind his back. He just didn't do it excessively. I could point to certain games. If you go to, like, for instance, off the top of my head, if you go look at that game when Jordan scored 20 points in the last 7 minutes of the fourth quarter against the Knicks in 1997, Jordan crossed over, if I remember correctly, I think he crossed up Allen Houston for a three-pointer. If you go to a game in 1998 when they're playing the Rockets, Jordan, I think he was going up against, was it a guy named Roderick Rhodes? I think he was a rookie that year. Jordan was in a rhythm. Jordan did dribble behind the back. If you remember the 6 3-point game against Larry Bird, Jordan had a crossover. He dribbled behind the back. He just didn't do it often. Because a lot of it is, if you played college, right? If you played in college, and if you played in that era, basketball, late 70s into the 80s, a lot of coaches saw that as hot dogging or showing off or showboating if you did it excessively. Now, of course, these things are encouraged. But I see Michael Jordan do these things, so it's outlandish to hear these conversations. How can you have a limited bag, ladies and gentlemen, if you got 10 scoring titles? If he has such a limited bag, why is it that these same people are saying that if Jordan was playing today, he would average 45 points a night? How? You can't have both. You can't sit there and say he got a limited bag, but somehow he coming back and scoring 45 points a night. Now, granted, Vince Carter was able to utilize or showcase, I should say. He was able to showcase and utilize certain things in his skill set that Jordan really didn't, because they got rid of hand checking. They laxed the rules when it comes to ball handling. One-on-one play became more and more encouraged. So a lot of things that players really couldn't do, guys started being able to do. And I'm not knocking Vince Carter, but come on now, like, do we got to remember that Vince was the guy that the NBA tried to make the next Michael Jordan, and he failed miserably in that aspect? That's not a knock on Vince, but that wasn't in his DNA. It was more in Kobe's DNA. So I don't know what we're doing here with this bag thing. What I find interesting is if you want to talk about somebody who don't have a bag, okay, and it goes to show you how unimportant this shit is, really. What about LeBron? Y'all never bring him up. You're bringing Kobe up and how a guy got more of a bag than Kobe, more of a bag than Mike. Well, all these guys you mentioning got much more of a quote-unquote bag than LeBron, right? But somehow LeBron's the all-time leading scorer. So how important is a bag? I mean, if you're talking about skill set, right? You're talking about skills, right? Skills. I'm just saying skills. Derek Carter, I mean, not Derek Carter. Derek Coleman is generally, I'm talking about all around, right? Offensive skills. Wouldn't you say he's more skilled than, say, Kevin McHale? He's not the post player Kevin McHale is. But when it comes to ball handling and passing, definitely. When it comes to dribbling and range, wouldn't you say Derek Coleman was more skilled? But would anybody rank Derek Coleman ahead of Kevin McHale? Would you rather have a Derek Coleman or Kevin McHale? So to me, this bag thing is just it's such a ridiculous argument. And it's tiresome. Michael Jordan, to me, and I've been watching basketball for about 35 years now, Michael Jordan is the most dominant scorer I've ever seen. The most dominant. He was averaging well over 30 points per game in an era where some teams were averaging only 80-some points a night. You understand me? The 98 Bulls during the regular season only averaged about 97, 96 points a game. Jordan averaged 29 points a night, which is sort of like averaging 34 points a game today. And that's kind of out of his prime. I saw Jordan average 32 points a night in the finals on a Bulls team that averaged 88 points a night. That's like averaging 37 points a night or some shit like today. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here, man? Not to mention the fact that on the defensive end, the dude was a beast. He was aggressive offensively. He was aggressive offensively. And he really didn't have any, especially for the era he played in, he didn't really have any weaknesses. His ball handling was good. Now, was he the best at everything? No. But altogether, he was the best player. In the 90s, for the era he played in, his ball handling was great, was very, very good, I'll say. He had a good crossover. He could score equally with his, during the second half of his career, he could score almost equally with both hands. He could drive left, drive right, be dangerous each way doing it. He could score in the post. Matter of fact, he was one of the best post players in the NBA as a guard. I would make an argument that second to Olajuwon, he was the second best post player in the NBA. Especially from 96 to 98. Hell, maybe 93 to 98. He was a great defensive player. He was a great shot blocking guard. We all know that he was a terror as far as in the passing lanes, as far as getting steals and strips. He was a good rebounding guard. He was a great offensive rebounding guard. He was an underrated passer, tremendous scorer, efficient, clutch. I mean, what he could drive, he could dunk, he was athletic. He had hops, explosive. I mean, what the fuck do we want to say? I mean, what else? He was a danger in transition. He was dangerous in half court offenses. I mean, what else do you want me to bring up? He could score with either hand. He was one of the greatest finishers in NBA history. What are we talking about? It's all just a bunch of poppycock, man. Just a bunch of nonsense to get hits, likes, and views and clicks and attention to people's podcasts. It's stupid, man. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it, man. Tell me what you guys think.